Hello, welcome to the module on associate gathering. It's called the 5-step process for building your business. My name is Bill Akins. I'm a senior director with Ignite, and I'm glad that you were able to join us for, I think, one of the most important modules. Because if we take a look at our overview and our long-range planning, this is a business about helping other people and gathering just a few customers. Most of your wealth will be built right here in the 5-step process. What I'd like to begin with is really the keys on becoming a great recruiter. I think it is important to begin with that you become a very good listener. Find out specifically what it is that your candidate is looking for. Are they looking for more time, more money, or both? Everyone is looking for one or the other. Find out how our business can be their solution, how it can fit into their everyday life and add to their dream. This business is about helping others and obtaining their dreams through a few hours a week. In order to become a really good recruiter, you have to be credible, believable, and very enthusiastic. Now, the enthusiasm can be from your very first day. But to become credible and believable, that takes some time because you really have to understand our business, the model, and have some experience. You also want to make sure that you are not overbearing, but always be helpful. You will need to have some basic information about our business, and you'll find this in our earlier modules. Information about our industry, our company, network marketing, and your why. Being persuasive and confident would be another big key in recruiting. Persuasiveness doesn't necessarily mean that you're pushing. It means that you're able to convince. And to be able to convince, you need to believe in the program yourself. This is a business that requires a sense of urgency, action immediately, and you don't want to prejudge people before you talk to them. You will find that those that you think may be great candidates sometimes aren't, and those that you think might not be good candidates many times are. We're looking for people who are coachable, who are trainable, and that will support their teams. And remember, this is a discussion each day. As you go through your daily routine, you ignite along the way. It's a conversation. Now, I have found in the 4 years that I have been in this business the same characteristics of successful people in Ignite over and over again. Quite simply, they have high character and integrity, a very strong why. They are teachable. They have good, strong work ethic, and they have a lot of self-discipline. They're organized. They have a great attitude. They're always enthusiastic, and they are financially motivated. Also, they're willing to help other people because that's what our business is all about, assisting. If you learn how to do this, you can't help but be successful. And training is everything in this business, and making sure that you help as many people along the way as you can. Which leads us to the 5 steps in building your organization. I really feel like the very beginning should consist of finding leaders. What you want to do is to make sure that you put together a list of the people that you want to talk to. People that are, I think, leaders. They are entrepreneurial. Maybe they aren't necessarily in an entrepreneurial venture at this time, but they've always had interest of being an entrepreneur. Somebody that has a very strong why. Putting 2 kids through college for a single working mom is a real challenge. That's a very strong why. Or strong motivation financially. They just want to get ahead of the curve. They want to get from out from under perhaps a lot of debt. So the very first thing that we want you to do is to make a list of at least 100 people, preferably 200 people. And then once you've sorted these out, it's time to begin step 2. Step 2 is really no more than introducing your candidate to your upline. Nothing more. Basically, it's going to require a very quick telephone call. And that telephone call will go something like this. Hi, Phil. Steve here. I would like to get your opinion on a new business that I've just recently gotten involved in here in the Pittsburgh market. Now, Phil, this involves the energy business, and I would love to take about 5 minutes of your time to have you listen to my business partner and find out what a great business this is all about. Could we do this later on today, say around 2:30? Again, all I need would be 5 minutes. Now, anyone can do what I just did. At this point, we're not answering any questions. We're going to do all of that once step 3 is initiated. But all we're asking you to do at this stage is simply get people to give us 5 minutes of their time. The heavy lifting will be done by your sponsor, or perhaps even by me. So step 3 basically will be to introduce your candidate to me or to your upline. So let's say that we have the appointment set up at 2:30, and we're going to set up a 3-way telephone call. So right around 2:30, you will call me, and I will in turn call the candidate. You'll probably give me a brief outline of that person. Let's just say that Phil is in the workforce right now, and he's a good friend of yours. You've been friends for years. He has a family to support, and he might just be interested in looking at something outside of his career. So here is what you have to do secondly. Introduce your person to me or your upline. Hi, Phil. Steve here. I have my business partner on the telephone, Bill, and he would like to tell you a little bit about what he and I are doing involving the energy business. So at this point, basically I'm going to do the heavy lifting, or your sponsor will be doing the heavy lifting. Now, I will tell you this, that I don't read a script, and most of my associates or business partners don't either. But I'm going to go through this copy so that you will understand some of the key points that will be brought up in this very brief introduction of our business. I don't want to tell the person too much, but I want them to have enough information to get them to the next step. This is a step-by-step procedure, 5 steps as you can see here. So now it's time for us to do the heavy lifting. So you've basically handed the phone over to me or to your upline, and here's what happens. Well, Phil, thanks so much for taking a few minutes from Steve to let us tell you a little bit about what we're doing involving energy. Now, we are in the deregulated energy business, which, by the way, is about a $500 million business across the country. Now, as you know, here in the state of Pennsylvania, we are now deregulated. That means that you can buy your energy from a choice of providers in the area, not just Duquesne Power and Light. Now, this is great for several reasons. First of all, Steve and I can now make an income on a service that is unconsciously paid for and habitually used every single day. Also, consumers like us now have a choice of providers that gives us a much greater competitive cost and allows all of us to make a decision on who we want to have as our marketer. And oh, by the way, the state benefits because now the power company that's in charge transmits the power. That doesn't change. But now the state can make additional funds on the energy that is distributed. Now, we are one of those marketers. Stream Energy is a $1 billion a year company, now in debt-free, that can market energy here in the state of Pennsylvania. Now, Phil, we only do two things. We show people how to save money on their current electricity bill, and we show people, just like you, how to make money with energy here in the Pittsburgh market. Now, what we would like to do at this point is to invite you to view a short presentation that will take you through 3 steps. A bit of history about our company, our expansion into new states, we're currently in 5, and our tremendous compensation plan that produces passive residual income for the rest of your life. Would you be available around 7:30 tonight to take a look at the presentation? So what I've done here is to give them enough information to understand that it is energy, that there's benefits to the state, to you, and to the consumer, and that it only will take a few brief minutes to take a look at this great opportunity. We want to get their opinion and perhaps get them to consider becoming a member of Ignite. Now, this is important for us to do, that is your upline, because the credibility is there. We've been in the business a while, we understand the concept, and we have credibility. Now, the 4th step is basically getting that candidate to agree to watch this program or the webinar or to have a personal meeting. Now, the candidate can actually view our presentation through several different ways. First of all, they can take a look at our website. The website that we have is available by just simply emailing that website to the candidate. And as you've seen in our earlier module on the web tour, they can simply click on the front page and view a 15-minute presentation. They can also see a live webinar, and those live webinars are actually done every single week. There's a schedule of those that are pre-recorded and those that are live. Next, a home meeting could actually take place. Many of our associates in all of our states have home meetings every week. It's a great way to take someone and show them the presentation. Or perhaps it's our DVD, where you're simply inviting that candidate to either your home or you go to theirs and simply go through the DVD presentation. Steve Fisher has done a wonderful job in explaining the plan. The final way is actually going to one of our corporate meetings. They take place in every single Ignite major city and smaller towns every single week. Now, the step 4 is important because they need to have access to one of these 5 methods. I think the very best method is, of course, face-to-face, and that is actually sitting down with somebody and showing them the presentation one-on-one. But you can also do it many other ways as well. Once they have had a chance to see the information, then we go to step 5. Now, keep in mind you have used your upline all the way through these steps. Why do we think the steps are important? Because this gives you a chance to, number 1, observe your upline and see how they're going to handle the situation. And number 2, it kind of takes you in a situation where you're not on the front line. The candidate isn't telling you no, they're telling us no. Or yes, which is great. And you'll get many yeses through this system. So step 5 is very simple. We're now going to talk to the person either in person or through a 3-way telephone call to what we call debrief. This is the debrief step, step 5. And here's how it works. Your role is, again, introducing your sponsor. Well, Phil, it's Steve here. We're back, and we're calling you for a debrief on what you've just seen. I'd like to have you talk again to my business partner, Bill. There'll be 3 questions that will be asked by your sponsor. And here they are. Well, Phil, thanks so much for taking some time and going through the presentation. We'd love to know what you liked about what you've seen. Now notice the word like is very definite. What we want to find out here is specifically what points caught their attention. They might say something like, well, I like the fact that it's residual income, that I can get paid over and over again. Or it's energy, and I don't have to resell energy every single month. Or it's something that everyone has anyway, and they need it anyway. So once we get the first question answered, that will set the stage for the second question. We'll be able to pretty well tell how number 2 and number 3 are going to go based on their response on number 1. So the second question, what questions or concerns do you have at this point, should be asked by your sponsor, because at this point they may have some objections. You want to listen carefully to what those objections are, make notes on those because they could come up again. We'll cover overcoming objections in our next module. There are 10 basic objections that come up many times. So once we've answered those questions or concerns, number 3 will simply be, how interested are you? On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you be? 1 meaning I'm not interested at all, and 10 meaning I'm ready to go. I don't get that many 1s, and I don't get that many 10s. Most of the time, we get around a 7. So if we do get a 7, my response is simply this. Well, first of all, Phil, we are tickled to death that you gave us a 7, because that shows that you're more than just fairly interested. You're definitely interested. What do we need to do to move you to the next number, or all the way to a 10? So there must be a very next step. So this is the post step 5. This is the next thing that has to be done after your 5-step process. There should be one of several different plans. Number 1, it could be that if they want to take a little closer look or get more information, this could be the time that you want to take them to an actual meeting. I really think that taking candidates to a meeting on the second look is more effective. Why? Because they've seen the information and they're going to know what to expect when they go to a meeting. Number 2, it could be that you want to review both of our websites for clarification and due diligence. If somebody says, I need to get more information, I tell them this. Great. We'd love to explain and provide you with the information that you need. It would be difficult for you to find all the information that we can provide for you in a matter of 20 minutes. It could be that you want to set up a one-on-one interview and go through the DVD. Or it could be that they want to be invited to a home meeting if they've actually seen the presentation either through the web base or through a webinar. In summary, this 5-step process that we've looked at today, I think, is the best way for a new associate to capture the attention of a potential candidate. Thank you for listening, and good luck with your recruiting.